What I'm going to show you in this demonstration is how to cut an intricate die. Now, in the instruction manual, when it first came out, we said we need the A and the B plates. So I'm going to show you what happens with that combination when I cut this die from tattered lace. And then I'm going to show you what I've worked out personally and how I get a much better cut using the D plate. So A and B first. I'm going to use it in the middle of the plate because that's usually the worst area on a die cutting machine, but with TODO that's not the case. So I'm going to place the card over the top. This is a 240 GSM Foundations card. I then place my B plate on top, and as in the instruction book, I've got it on setting of about 7.5. So I'm just going to wheel this through. You will get a slight moving of your plates as well because this is one roller going over the top, rather than plates going through two rollers, and you will also get that cracking. That's just the metal cutting into the plastic, and that's perfectly normal. So I'm going to wheel this through. I would never expect a die this detailed to cut in one go on a manual machine. So what I'm going to do is rotate this, and I'm then going to put my B plate back in place, and I'm going to run it back through. So this is the second pass. And when I first got TODO and did this at home, I was struggling to get a really good die cut. So I began to think about why that was, and that's when we came up with the solution of the D plate. And I'll explain that when we come into that part of the demo. So I've now cut that twice. I can take away any residual card because we don't need to keep putting that through. And then what I wanted to do was try with the embossing mat. Now this is your C shim. This is actually meant for letter pressing, but I worked out if you increase the dial, so if you take the dial 4 full increments higher, so I was cutting on 7.5, so I'm going to go to 11.5, that allows the extra distance to put the C shim in, and this will emboss it. And actually embossing actually does a lot of the work when it comes to cutting as well, which sounds a bit strange, but what it does is, because it's a squishy mat, it will stretch the fibres, and because you're dealing with a steel roller on any machine, and a steel roller isn't flexible, what the C mat will do is push into all those little areas that the roller can't get to. So I'm going to remove my B plate now, which will be a little bit staticky on your C mat because your C mat is squishy. And I'm just going to show you what we've got. All right, so at this moment in time, we've got the outside edge is cut beautifully. These parts are cut okay. It starts to get weaker here and here. And what you would normally see is either spritzing it with the spray emboss just to weaken and stretch those fibres slightly, or get a little piece of card that you've torn and put it over those hotspot areas. So when I looked at this, I thought, right, what we need to do with a die cutting machine is get the roller as close to the die as we possibly can. And in your box, you actually get a D plate, which is much thinner than the B plate. It's also smaller, so pounds per inch pressure is increased when you use the D rather than the B. So what I'm going to do now is just clean this out, and then we'll come back and show you the difference using the D plate makes.
The incredible, stylish TODO. The freedom to do everything.